elementary principal. My interpreter is Berto Gandra, so welcome, thank you. And so I just want to remind you, Marnie's got them right back there. Marnie, wave your hand. Nope, there's a whole bunch more right in front of the handbooks. English, there we go. So you want to make sure you have this handout. You can sign in and things later. And so we're going to quickly go over this PowerPoint. I'm not going to read everything to you, which is why I want you to have this handout, because it has some really important information. And first, I just want you to know how much we appreciate you and how much we thank you for attending and for supporting our schools and partnering with us. And I'd like to really quickly introduce the staff. And so I'm going to say their names, and they're all over here. So if you kind of turn your bodies a little bit. And they're going to wave to you, and then they're going to leave and go get set up. So I'm going to start with my specialists. So I've got Dan Drake, PE. I've got Mandy Randolph, Farm to Classroom. I'm not going in order. Darren Dix. He's band and also character and creativity. And Pamela Wright, who is strings, and she has one class of character and creativity this year. Then I've got my, what I call my behind the scenes people. So way back there, who was passing out the handouts, is Marnie Gaylord. She's our math specialist. And she's also helping out with kindergarten, doing some team teaching there. I also have Glenda Smith, who is my reading specialist. My other specialists include Margie Sabine, our PIP coordinator and family advocate, Cindy Sapp, our school nurse, Alexandria Romero, who's our second step advocate, Sandy Burt, our social worker, Catherine Laughlin, our EL specialist, Jessie Staub, our 3-5 SPED specialist, and Christy Wrightsey, our K2 SPED specialist. So I think I got all the specialists, right? Okay. Teachers. So kindergarten, Miss Lisa Jenkins and Marnie Gaylord. First and second grade, I love how you stood together, thank you. Kate Nalyokes and Ann Ford McGrath. My 1, 2, 3, Martha Inch. Then jump over to my 3-4s, Bill Alstorf and Jenny Johnston. And my 4-5s, Ellen Anderson and Kimberly Mallow. And the person who really runs the school is Roanne. And Maureen is actually at a training today. She is the number 2 running the school, soon to be number 1 in a week. So she is not here with us today, but you've started to see her face. So, and Stephanie Bogart. Okay, so now I think I got everybody. Okay, so you guys can leave. Thank you. Let's give them a big round of applause. And if you have any questions, you're always welcome to get back to me at any time. So there you have our vision and our purpose. And really it boils down to the academic rigor, the building that critical thinking and problem solving skills, and also building that self-ownership so that all of our K-5 kids are responsible, independent owners of their behavior and their learning. Really important. There are lots of ways for you to be involved. You're going to hear me do a little blurb in just a minute for AOK Arts. We also have PTSA right back there with Diane Bortzler and Philip Bortzler and Barry and Andy Willard. So PTSA is really key, and they really need your help this year with membership, helping out with roller skating. They do so much for our school, and we're so appreciative. And it's only $10 for the year to support them, and that money really helps them. So join them. And continuing to move right along, I'm going to talk for a minute about AOK Art. And so this is our partnership with OIEF, and it is the it's where the local artists are coming in again this year, and they are teaching art as a part of our character and creativity class once a week for 20 weeks. And so they need your help, because it really helps if we have more parent volunteers during the art class. So I know that the classroom teachers have sign-up sheets, and I know that there's sign-up sheets that are going to be in the main building, and so if you can come in on a regular basis, it really helps them be successful. So they're going to be doing art for 20 weeks, and there's quite a bit of art history in there as well. So if you have more questions, you can talk to them. They'll have a booth right outside near the office. And speaking of near the office, there are a couple things that I'd like to tell you about. One is that if you are a Spanish speaker, we have a little schedule on the front of your PowerPoint presentation that says when the classes will have an interpreter. So please go to that session, because that's when there will be an interpreter if you need that service, okay? Then, to everybody else, if you did not have a chance to sign in, please do that. We are a school-wide Title I school, which means that we get about $132,000 from the federal government to support our school. And some of the things that we have to do are tell you about where we're at as a school, which that's some of this presentation today. But we also this year are actually having a program review. And so that means that we have to make sure that all of our checks and balances, every box is checked off. And part of that is knowing that we had parents sit in on this and hear this information. So if you haven't signed in, please do that for us. And the other thing is that also near the office is a table that has registration information. It's got a little sheet for you to double check to make sure that the information is correct. That way, you'll get our weekly emails and we'll know how to contact you if there's an emergency. So please, I think Glenda and Margie are going to be at that table, so look for them. Check the sheet. I think there's a place where you initial that that's all correct, and that will really help us make sure that we have the right information. Okay, so what is School-Wide Title I? So like I said, it's a federal program. The main focus is reading, but it also can be used for math. It's really, the premise of it is school improvement. And it also provides, it really pays for Glenda so that we can have that extra intervention in reading. No, seriously, it really does. That's where the bulk of the money goes, is to her to provide that support. And because we are school-wide, it's based on our free and reduced lunch count, which is really important. And it is important that if you need that free and reduced, that you take advantage of it. Because not only does that help you, but it also helps the school, actually. So, so please take the time to fill out that form. It's really valuable to all of us. And then being school-wide means that we push into the classroom our services to support all kids, and then Glenda also provides, and using our AmeriCorps volunteers this year as well, provides Tier 2 and Tier 3 support with pull-out or more small group instruction to work on those reading skills. So there is a really important piece to this, which is the family engagement and the school improvement team. And there you can see the members of our current school improvement team. It does need to have parent representation, and so we do have some parents. Leslie Ray, will you just wave your hand there, Leslie? Leslie Ray, Maricela Medina. Did she come in yet? Maricela? And the task of that team is to basically make sure that we also are following everything we need to do, that we're implementing our school improvement plan. They help to create that school improvement plan. And then to also really look at the data. So if you think back to probably February, March, we will be again asking you for a parent survey. We ask the staff for a staff survey. And we also survey our 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders. And so we take that data to then create our school improvement plan. So, And also on our school website, you would be able to find the parent engagement plan and also a digital copy of the handbook. And some of you have also been taking advantage. I've been sending it out the last 2 weeks with the newsletter. So if you'd like a hard copy, they're going to be back on the table as well. Okay, so our goals. So one of the things that the Title I process requires is that we have 2 goals. And our goals this year are in math and behavior. And I'll let you read those there. And so we're going to first talk a little bit about math, and then we'll come back to the behavior piece. And I have some new data to show you. One of the things you'll see up on the behavior piece that's new is the Savers, which is a part of our FAST Bridge, Universal Screener. And so this is a piece that we're going to implement the Savers piece this year, and we'll do it 3 times a year as well. And it's like a screening that the teachers can do with the students, and our older students, our 3rd through 5th graders, will also do it themselves as well. So it'll be wonderful to have a teacher's perspective on how they're doing and a student perspective on how they're doing. And then that information will just help us as we do different friendship groups or social skills groups or different things as a building. It'll definitely be information that we'll share with you at conferences as well, so that we can look at the social, emotional, and academic, how the child is feeling with all of those pieces as a whole. So, okay, so here's our math data, and I've got the last 2 years up there. And so the yellow, what you can see there is that those are the 2 places where we actually went down a little bit. And that's why we're working on it. That's about all I can say about that. So if we move on to the next slide, there's a bunch of things that we're doing differently this year to really try to target the math. One of the pieces is that the school board and our superintendent acknowledged that we needed some math support, and so we've brought on Marnie Gaylord as our math specialist. 0.6 of her day is spent focusing on math. And that is also, she's directly pushing in with kindergarten and with the 3rd through 5th grade, actually teaching a group. She's pushing in for 90 minutes teaching. I'm pushing in for a half an hour to teach as well. So then we've also done some new things. So we're continuing with FastBridge. We've also added, let me see, I'm on the wrong page here. Here we go. We've also added some new diagnostic assessments in math, which will really help us kind of pinpoint and break down some more specific skills that kids might be struggling in, so we can target those. We've also identified some common math assessments, which also piggyback on the I can statements in the data binders, so that by the end of the year, we should actually be able to show you for your child which I can statements they have mastered. And so we're really looking forward to bringing that to you this year and really sharing that information with you. So far we've talked about 2 things that we're doing to change and impact our math. A third thing that we're doing is that we've done a huge schedule change this year. So for 1st through 5th grade, math is happening in the morning, which is a huge shift. And it's a long chunk of time. For the 1st and 2nd grade, it's 60 minutes, and for the 3rd through 5th grade, it's a 90-minute chunk. For kindergarten, theirs happens right after recess, their lunch recess, and that's also a 60-minute chunk as well. So we're really excited about moving it into the morning. The other thing that we were able to do with the schedule is that we, for the most part, have reading in the morning. The only group that doesn't have reading in the morning is our 4-5s, and they're going to have reading right after lunch. We also added a 30-minute block that's called this new intervention extension time, and that's the 30 minutes that I'm pushing into too every day. And so that is for the 3rd through 5th graders. We're going to be really dividing them into very small groups so that we can really dive deep into some of the skills that they need to work on specifically for them, and then also extend for our highly capable kids. So we're really excited about that. And so then the 4th thing that we have done differently this year is we are also piloting 2 new math curriculum. And some people have asked why we're doing 2, and the long and short of it is that I had 2 teachers who spoke very highly of both of these programs, and we looked at references and we looked at their models, and we decided to give them both a try. And so in the K2, we're doing a Bridges math program, which is very hands-on and more oriented small group instruction, a lot of manipulatives. And then in the 3-5, we're doing My Math. And with that also comes a online component, which is called Redbird, which you're going to be hearing the teachers talk about as well. And one of the nice things about Redbird is that it gives its own leveling assessment at the beginning, and then kids can also progress through that at their own pace. And again, it's another one of those checks and balances to help us check off those I can statements for mastery. So we're really excited about that. My Math gave us a wonderful, well, we're very supportive of it. We basically paid for professional development, and they gave us everything free of charge, which is pretty amazing. And so that was from McGraw-Hill. So we're pretty excited to try that out. And you can see on your PowerPoint, you have the links if you want to go check out some more information about those programs. They're pretty exciting. Okay, so I have just a few more minutes. So one of the things that we also have to make sure that you know, this is a part of ESSA, which is Every Student Succeeds Act. This is what replaced the No Child Left Behind, if you've been following our federal government's changes in education. And being a part of not only ESSA, but also being a school-wide Title I school, we have to make sure that we are reporting our progress to you. So that comes in a couple different ways. One, we have to make sure that you're getting your child's academic progress, and so that happens twice a year through the report cards. It also happens twice a year through the conferences. Conferences will be coming the 3rd week, I think it is, the 17, 18, 19, isn't that right? I think it's the 17, 18, 19 of October. I just have it in the newsletter. I've got it out this week in the newsletter, so you'll see it tomorrow. The other thing that we have to make sure is that you know, and we notify you if there's a teacher that's not, that's working out of their cert area. We don't have anyone like that at the elementary school. As far as a classroom teacher, it'd be like if you had somebody who didn't quite have their license or something like that, and we're not in that position, but we have to make sure that you know that. We also have to make sure that you're aware that we do the annual state assessments for 3rd through 5th grade, and that you should be getting the results if you haven't in the mail as well. They were just recently mailed out. So those are things that the federal government says we have to make sure that we're regularly communicating with you. Okay. A couple other things we have to do is we have to actually talk about these things at this meeting, or we could have another meeting. Glenda and I thought it would be better just to put it all in one, so that's why we're doing it here. We also need to make sure that you're aware that we have under the parent little canister on the website, it's got our handbook, it's got our school improvement plan that you can look at, it's also got the parent engagement plan, it's also got the parent compact. It will soon have the Spanish one. We had to update it a little bit, so that's coming. And it also has, for October, if you're looking ahead, the goal setting sheets are already there. And so if you're wanting to look ahead as parents, you could print those out and start to think about goals for your child to talk with at the conferences. And if you have any questions, please come and talk to me. That's really important. One of the things that I try to do is to make sure that every weekend, we try hard on Friday, but it doesn't always happen, but we want to get you that newsletter, so that comes out every Friday, or at least over the weekend, so please watch for that electronically. There are always hard copies of the newsletter available for you in the office if you would like. I know classroom teachers are also sending out lots of newsletters as well, so that's wonderful. Check out our website. Every month I do upload the new photos from the Tardy Queen class and the Character Trait Award recipients. That all gets uploaded with their pictures, and so check that out every month. And also, maybe even in your head, mark your calendar mentally that almost every month, the last Friday of the month, is our annual or monthly character trait assembly, and that's a wonderful event for you to come to and meet whoever our Tardy Queen family member is for the month and see the escorts, and then your child may be a recipient of one of the character awards. We do the high five drawings, it's lots of fun. This month we're going to be saying a special goodbye to our amazing staff member who's going to be leaving us very soon. So anyway, so that's another great way to stay in tune with us. Yes, I wasn't quite saying it because she just walked through, but you can all turn and whisper her name. You probably know who I'm talking about, okay?
She's not dying.
She's not dying. She's just moving to be with her family, but we're very sad to see her go. Anyway, we will be honoring her this month as well. And so, weekend packs. Margie, do you want to say something really quickly? I'm going to turn this over to Margie and Sandy, and I've given you an extra 2 minutes.
The programs I coordinate are the primary intervention program and the weekend packs for kids. And the primary intervention program, I'll start with first because that's my main job here. It is a support program for kindergarten through third grade kids to build resiliency and confidence and self-esteem. So if you want more information or a little bit more conversation with me about that, I will have a table set up in the hallway when you're going over to your classes and then in between the shift of classes. And then the weekend packs for kids, this is supported through the Orcas Food Bank, and we provide a weekly bag of healthy snacks for kids to take home for the weekend, and they are distributed on Fridays, and it's available for K through 12 students. So if that's something that might interest and your kids might need some extra snacks to help them through the weekend, you can let me know on that as well.
So, positive behavior interventions and support is an umbrella that covers so many things that we do at our school. We want students to be able to learn, and to be able to learn, you need to be safe, and you need to feel like you belong. So we are very dedicated, every single staff member, to trying to create such a safe environment and one where children are not spending their energy worrying about social emotional things and instead able to be learning. So I think maybe the next one describes some of the parts of that. We start with teaching expectations throughout the school and the classrooms, and then at the beginning of the year, so kids know what's expected of them. And we're all consistent in asking that for those behaviors so that everyone feels safe. Then Alexandria Romero, my partner over there, she is teaching Kelso's Choice, and I know you've heard about Kelso's Choice a lot. If your copy from home has been lost, there's more in the back. We encourage people to take it home, put it on the fridge, use it at home. Children need to be taught how to deal with big emotions, how to solve problems between friends. Grown-ups need to be taught this sometimes too, but we are doing our best to help the little ones be able to do that. And For our kindergarten through third graders, Kelso's Choice is a central piece, and we have a bit of that with our older kids, trying to help them help younger ones with the same concepts. So Alexandria is teaching that, and Second Step, which goes through the whole school year, all about dealing with emotions, relationships, empathy, problem solving, communication. So we, every month, get,
are you going to, that we were going to look at, this is actually from Swiss, and that is our behavior management data record system. And so this is when kiddos are getting referrals, and it goes into this database, and you can see that actually the blue is last year compared to the year before, and you can see that our referrals are going down, which is a part of our goal, is that the referrals will go down, and we will be continuing to work on that. There's a couple last minute things I want to say before I send you off. First of all, Sandy really touched on it with Kelso's Choice and Second Step. I had a parent call me right after school today, was really frustrated because their child came home and said that so-and-so was picking on him, and it's been going on and on and on. And here's a few things that I would really like you to know. First of all, please, the best way to really help stop that bullying type of behavior is to build up your child and to help teach your child some tools so that they can stand up and be strong and say stop. And if the behavior doesn't stop, they can seek help. That is what we're also teaching as a part of Second Step, is about being strong, saying stop, going away, and then getting help if it continues. But here's the other really important thing. If your child is coming home and telling you about a situation, think for a minute about where you want that child, your child, to be when they're in high school. And think about how you're going to talk with them. My suggestion would be to think about asking some questions, and then feeling out the problem, and then maybe saying, would you like some advice on how to do that? Because again, if we're sending the message that they're a victim, then it's not, we're continuing, we're not raising them up, but they're continuing to kind of be in that victim mode. And if we can try to raise them up, it will empower them to work on solving their problems. Also, please let us know right away. Don't keep those things in hiding at home. Email the teacher, talk to me, talk to the teacher. It's more important that we know right away so we can deal with those situations. If we hear that things have been going on for a month or a year, it's really hard at that point to intervene. So here at school, we take multiple approaches towards helping kids with that. One is building them up. One is helping to build their friendships. One is also helping them to feel strong, to say stop, to find something else, and then also to responding to the child who is giving them a hard time. But we can't do that unless you're also coming to us right away. So please do that. Please come to us right away. There are more of the PowerPoints in the back if you did not get one. And the back door is open, so you can walk on in, and the teachers will be expecting you and starting at 7:05. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, Charlotte's right here. Okay. We start here in the morning, and then at 9 o'clock we'll, starting mid next week, we will go to reading classes. And we just today finished assessing all their reading levels. Kate and I did. And so what we did is we just laid them all out, and then we kind of split it down the middle. And so I'll have the yellow reading group, which is more the beginner yellow readers, and Kate will have the higher readers, more independent readers. And then we have recess, And then we come back and we do the similar thing for math. So I am doing more of second grade math, and Kate is doing more first grade math. Depending on where your child needs to be, then we'll put them wherever they need to be. Just as at their level, because we want them to feel successful and be right at their level. So those are the two things that Kate and I switch kids for.
And how many kids are in the?
So we have 24 each.
Okay.
So
Do you
for
have
math, I have 30 for second grade, but I do have Patty Sawyer in here as an aide for that time. Thank goodness.
And
Yes.
do they switch each day? Do
Yes.
they go over to the
Yes.
other class? Okay.
And we just started math this week, Monday. And so math is a new math program, and it's a new math program for both of us to teach. It's called Bridges. I really like it so far. There's a lot to it. It seems to be real hands-on. These are some things that we did, and you can see some things she did out in the hallway actually. But this whole number corner right here, that is all part of our math program, which is really rich. There's just all kinds of things happening just with that. And then there's a whole nother program aside from that. So I'm pretty excited about it. And we made these beetle glyphs, and so now we're interpreting the data, and we made Venn diagrams today with the hula hoops and that kind of thing. So, so that's what our math looks like. And then they go back to recess, and then lunch, and then we usually have a read aloud, and I usually do that from a chapter book. And then this would normally be writing time, but today we were working on some paper t-shirts, writing. And then for writing, they stay in their homeroom classes. Pretty much the whole rest from 12 o'clock on, everybody stays in their homeroom classes. And we both have an AmeriCorps volunteer that comes and helps us with writing, so there's 2 of us in here to help with that. So that's great. And then they have their specials. And then in the afternoon, we either have science, handwriting, library, you know, anything that comes up, art, those kind of things that come up in the afternoon. And then pack up and clean up. This year for science, we're going to start with air and weather. And then we will go to solids and liquids.
What is
After that.
what is the sample reading?
Bulletin board back there. We both do the basis of the daily 5, and so we've been working on read to self, read to someone, and they listen to reading, work on writing, and word work. So they're being independent in those choices while Kate or I are sitting in this back table calling in small groups to read. And I'll show you what the books will look like. So probably in a week or so, some of your kids will get books that look like this, these kind of little books, and some of them will actually be paper books that are really more on their level, and that we print out. So with a little guided reading group that's all reading at the same level. And then for reading, I also have Glenda Smith in here, the reading specialist. So she will also be in here working with me, so there'll be 2 of us.
So if your child at home is really struggling to want to do it, to read themselves aloud, should we just keep reading to them, or
Yes.
should we like force it?
Oh, no, just keep reading to them.
Okay.
And let me do that part. And
Okay.
then they'll read a book, and they won't bring a book home until they're really comfortable. I won't send a book home until they know it really well, so they'll be comfortable with it. And then this kind of tells about our reading philosophy. We do a lot of big books and a lot of guided reading. And then we have a spelling component to that too. It's called Words Their Way, and we just finished assessing that piece as well. And that will put them all into different groups of spelling for their own level. So like the higher group, if you're a little bit higher, they can have some different spelling patterns. the beginning readers are gonna probably be more the same kind of spelling. We'll be grouped together, but it's a kind of an independent work. A lot of cutting and gluing, little pictures. I don't have a picture of it right now, but working on word families, the vowel sounds, and then blends. It moves into blends. Any more questions about reading? Alexandria gave them these, and then some of them have little tiny ones, and so she gets them to write things and draw pictures and that. But we will have a journal as well.
Okay.
But that's what they're talking about. I haven't given them their writing journal. So, and they love those little things. I think I covered that. I know I left some things out. Does anybody else have any questions? So we have the AOK Art, which is part of their character and creativity class, which is on Tuesdays. And it's run by volunteers. And it's an awesome program. We have an artist in the room. I wish she were our artist. But we need parent helpers for that on Tuesdays. It's a big task it's a big setup and it's a big cleanup. And it's a quick turnaround.
May I have your attention, please? Teachers, if you can very quickly wrap up. We're going to be starting our next session in 5 minutes. Thank you so much for coming. I'm sure you still have questions and things you want to talk about with the teachers. Student-led or student parent teacher conferences will be happening in 2 weeks, and you're also welcome to send them an email. So we will be doing round 2 in about 4 minutes. Thank you.
So we do need volunteers if you're able to come in on Tuesdays at 1:10 to 2:05. If you can sign up and be a volunteer for that, would be awesome. So I will pass this around, or I'll just leave it here, and you can sign it on the way out. But we need help with that, don't you think? More hands.
Yeah, yes. I mean, I have one of my classes is 31 kids.
Yeah.
So,
Fortunately, we're only 24, but younger and not quite as able. So
it's pretty fun. I mean, I think it's the parents who've come and
It's
volunteered
great.
with my class. They seem to really enjoy it.
Yeah.
You're doing something different. Seeing
Right.
kids in a different way.
Right. Yeah.
No, you're just like helping.